seemingly gone are the days of mastery in which a person would actually sit down and try to like master what they're trying to do. Because a lot of people now, they got this Hollywood mentality, where like where the guy goes overseas and studies something like, does some martial art for like, 3 weeks, and all of a sudden he beats the best person in the country. That type of mentality doesn't exist in reality. The real mentality is that a person has to have in a correct mindset is that everything that you do is going to take a lot of time. If you want to memorize the Quran and you want to perfect the memorization of the Quran, then it's going to take time. It's going to take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on the person. And that's to really, really, really perfect it to where you're like reciting the Quran and not making those types of, and not making mistakes, not just in the pronunciation, but in the actual, you're not making mistakes in your actual memorization. And that's the type of mindset that you have, that every single thing that you do, you're ready to commit to it for those number of years until you can perfect it. And if you can't perfect it, then why do it? Because everything that we should strive for excellence. We shouldn't just do something just to do it because it looks good on a resume. Because the majority of the people nowadays, that's what they do. They do things because it looks good on a resume. Oh, I studied this book, I studied that book, and I memorized this book, but then you start to ask them questions about those books, and they can't answer the questions. He says, oh, I studied Al-Ajurumiyya, I studied Tuhfat al-Saniyya, I studied Qatr al-Nada, I studied Ibn Aqil. And then you start asking them questions about Al-Ajurumiyya, can't answer the questions. Can't even do the most simple i'rab. So what is that now? Where are your skills? So this is just these are things that people just like to say because they look good on a resume. I studied with Sheikh Fulan, I studied with Sheikh Fulan, but what did you benefit? What can you teach the people? What can the people benefit from you now? So this is the main thing that we always have to ask ourselves. And it's not about always being in a hurry to get to the next thing. Perfect the thing that you're in. Take your time and make sure that you get it right. This is not a race. It's not a race. You see all those people running and trying to, get to the next book and get to the next book and do the next thing and do the next. These are the people in the end, they have nothing. They have nothing. It's better for you to sit down and perfect one book than to go and try, like, for example, a person were to sit down with, for example, Al-Ajurumiyya, Nahu, and perfect it and get everything that he can out of that book and then go on to the next book, even though maybe the people that he sat with in the beginning, they're already, his classmates or whoever, they're already now trying to, I'm studying Qatr al-Nada and I'm studying Ibn Aqil, but go ask them questions and see where they're at. They're just, all they're studying and everything they're doing is just for a resume. It's not for real knowledge. Real knowledge, you have to take your time and you realize that this is not just a marathon. This is an ultra marathon. This is the longest race of your life, and you have to be patient. Allahumma musta'an.